Post-game chat with the Huskies head coach Greg Jockims after a huge win. It is a huge win. I know it's early, but let's go back a week ago. You're up 67-60 against a UBC team on a Friday night. You don't know how to close a deal. It was close again tonight, but tonight you figure out how to close a deal. Is that just learning throughout a season?
Well, bad coaching last week, so yeah. Yeah, you lose a lead by under 10. It's usually the coaching decision. So there you go. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, we were in a hostile environment last week, and it's not something we faced a lot. And I think we'll be better in that situation. I think some of our calmness tonight, when Calgary made a push, I think was a result of the things we talked about and worked on in practice this week. Probably the difference was. We handled their zone. They've kind of been beating people up with their zone. And our size, they weren't able to dominate us like they have other teams. Playing against their zone well and us defending the paint fairly well were probably the differences in the game.
It was a physical affair tonight. You talked about that. I thought Nolan Brudehl really stepped up tonight.
Well, we started three big guys, and Gotts and Nolan. We were playing a bit on the perimeter against that zone. But yeah, Nolan's a tough matchup. They have to put one of their smaller guys on Nolan or Gotts, and we tried to find that matchup and go inside, and it started to give them some trouble. And when they collapsed, I thought, especially in the first half, Sharon against the zone on the baseline made shots, and then in the second half, our perimeter guys, when they had to go to man-to-man, were able to attack and create some things.
How much of tonight was a statement game? I know you don't like talking about statements early on, but I mean, you have two tough losses, a really tough loss last Saturday, but a 19-point win against the number 3 ranked team in the nation. That's got to say something.
Yeah, well, statement, it's probably response. The important thing is us in the room, right, and how we respond. The statement is made by the team in general that they weren't happy with the performance last week, and they're staying focused on what we're trying to do as opposed to jumping ship and taking off. So that's a sign of a really good team when you have a disappointment. What you do after something happens to you is the most important thing, and we responded well to the defeats last week.
You only play Calgary once this year. Yeah. These games are huge. How do you make sure you get both this weekend, because that's the key now?
One of the huge challenges in Canada West, playing good teams back-to-back nights. The emotion and intensity will often flow from one side to the other, from one night to the next. There's no question they'll play hard. I think we faced some of that a couple of weeks ago against Brandon, where they really came out hard, and I expect Calgary to come out as hard, if not harder. Again, our response to a negative performance needs to be good, and our response to a positive performance needs to be good. So we'll see how we respond to some success. And to be a really high caliber team, you have to respond the same way to success as you do to failure. So we'll see what we're made of tomorrow.
Good enough, Coach. That's going to do it from here. An 86-67, 19-point win by the Huskies tonight over the number 3 ranked team in the nation. They can play with anybody. Your Huskies get a big win tonight. After a big Husky win, a 19-point win over the number 3 ranked Calgary Dinos, I'm joined by number 21, Nolan Brudehl. And Nolan, you have 11 points tonight, 6 rebounds. It was a real team effort. Talk about that, the fact that it was a team effort tonight.
Well, first off, we just came out firing on all cylinders. Guys were talking and stuff like that. We had 3 bigs up on the lineup. That was pretty huge for being on the glass against those guys. We just played tough overall, inside, outside. Balls getting in, balls getting out. Everybody's getting good looks.
Russ Beckering is quite a man out there to play against. His frustration boiled over, it seemed, at points when you were going up against him. Talk about that battle tonight.
Well, I was just covering him, helping out guys, stuff like that. Clint Unsworth played great against him. He was banging all night, and I just came in there and tried to step up and pick him up for a bit before other guys could have a chance at him.
Talk about what it was like to go on the road last week, and I talked to your coach about this, but last Friday night you guys have a lead going into the fourth quarter and can't hold on to it. Tonight you have another lead, and Calgary pushed, but this time you guys had a response.
I think against UBC we just weren't really ready for it. We weren't used to it. We've never been in a game like that this year, so after being in that game we were used to it, and we just wanted to come out and beat Calgary.
People are going to look at the scores tomorrow across this league, and they're going to go, a 19-point win by the unranked Huskies over the number 3 ranked Calgary team. Do you guys pay attention to any of that?
No, I just want to come out, play hard. Every game's a new game, and tomorrow's another fight, so we just want to come out and try and beat them again.
All right, final question. You talk about tomorrow. You only play these guys twice all season. It's a different division, different situation. How big is it to win both here at home?
It's a pretty big win, like coming into our house, like we want to like hold our ground and stuff like that. And it's also Calgary, big rivalry, so like coming out on top, that'd be awesome.
All right, well, it was a team effort, like I said. Nolan Brudehl, 11 points, 6 rebounds, getting it done in the paint here tonight at the Pack.